Hi, welcome to our third weigh-in, and this is the weight loss that I'm trying to do. And I was maybe getting a little cocky. I thought that this was getting easy and no problem, but I had a wake-up call this morning where I actually gained 0.6, so almost a half a pound, or a little over half a pound since we started 3 weeks ago. And
well, no, from last week.
Oh yeah, from last week, yeah. So I've lost a total of almost 10 pounds. But so anyways, but Ken was just mentioning to me is the waist is very important, and I've gone down each week in my waist. So my waist is at 48.75. So that's a plus, I guess.
I think when people go on a weight loss program, it's the waist that is more important, because there's a number of factors. As you start to exercise and develop more muscle is a lot denser than fat, and because that is the case, as you develop muscle, you actually gain weight.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get discouraged because the first thing that happens is that they lose weight very quickly, and that weight is primarily water, a lot of water. And then all of a sudden they start to gain weight, and what's happening is you're developing muscle,
yeah,
which is important because muscle is what burns the energy that you're accumulating throughout the day.
Right. And plus, this week has been a little bit challenging as far as what's gone on. Let's talk a little bit about that. Our 4 philosophies that in order to change your lifestyle, you need 4 principles. That is support or planning. It is eating the right things, it's portion control, and it's exercise. So I'll just talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about portion control first, since it's the top of my list. And twice this week I was into the carbs, and the reason for that is just the circumstances that I found myself in. One was we were with Dwight with piano lessons and guitar lessons, and the kids hadn't eaten supper and we're in a hurry. So I had pizza. We had pizza. But there is a bittersweet thing here, Ken. Not that there's bittersweet toppings or anything like that. But the fact is that I said I didn't want to eat carbs, but I ate the pizza. But I was limited to 2 pieces, and usually I'll eat 3 or 4 pieces of pizza when it's available. But I did, so I considered that a victory. The other thing is that it's not only happened once this week; it was twice, because my mother had a anniversary party and her birthday party, so we had a party for them, and then we basically had 2 pieces of the pizza again there. So that's twice in a week so 4 pieces of pizza in a week, and I'm not supposed to eat the carbohydrates. In saying that then, so that was sort of the portion control. And that was the portion control or eating the right things there. So that was a little bit of a different thing. And then plus what I did is I had a piece of cake at my parents' anniversary. So those things in itself, as far as eating the right things, I didn't do that there. But you know what? I'll learn. Now I'll learn. I really can't really fool around that much.
Well, I gotta tell you though, that remember, this is lifestyle. This is not cutting everything out of your life.
Yeah.
And there's certain times of the year there's more food available, and I think if you go on a starvation diet where you deny yourself all of those things, you'll develop cravings.
Yeah.
And those cravings will drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to have a piece of cake. It's okay to eat a pizza periodically. It's just that you cannot make it a habit where you're doing it every single day.
Right. And you know what? Just to your point there, bringing on to the next subject, Ken, right, a good segue there, is eating right. And what I really noticed this week about eating right is that I made a note here, is that when you are eating the right food, it affects your body, as far as basically your body isn't craving things, and your body is kind of wanting to get to that natural state of being in shape. And you can feel your body actually working, trying its hardest to lose weight and to help you, not only helping your mind to do that, but helping you physically do that. So it isn't that. When you're eating all the right things, I really feel that my body chemistry, or my body is adjusting and working, wanting me to succeed that way. And just, I don't want to be gross or anything like that, but even your stools, when you are going to the washroom and your stools are different, and you can tell the difference in their, when that happens. Yeah. So okay, that is how that. The other thing is that with the exercise. Now I learned something too, and this is where I'm going to really try to work out this week. I know that we say every week that I'm going to do more exercise, but what I found this week is that it's colder out now, and I walked for a half hour, but I walked throughout the neighborhood in our subdivision. I walked, the different streets, and I did it twice instead of walking in the park where I would do, 8 laps kind of thing. It was a lot more enjoyable because I was walking through the neighborhood and looking at the houses and everything like that, than basically being stuck on the laps, doing laps in the park. And I really noticed that. And what I noticed as well was that the coolness of the winter, it wasn't really that cold. We have this idea that, oh, it's cold in the winter, I don't want to go outside. But when I was actually outside walking, it really felt good and I wasn't really cold. And I think the coolness helps probably your body want to stay warmer, so you're probably burning more calories as well.
Yeah, that can happen. It's very important to recognize that with exercise, there's a warm-up period, and while you're going through that warm-up period, you're essentially using the energy stores that you have readily available. It's not until you pass a certain point where all of a sudden you're starting to burn up the reserves, so to speak. And so what we need to do is to take your exercise, make it more frequent, and make it longer. It probably takes the average person about half an hour to get to the point of raising your heartbeat up. Cold weather slows that down a little bit too, because you're trying to combat cold. But you need at least half an hour of walking just to get yourself ready where, okay, now I'm burning a few reserves.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about portion control, the pizza, we talked about exercises, what I found too is about the exercising, is I say, I'll do it later, and I procrastinate, and it never gets done. And I know we're weak on that, but that's the truth what happened on that. So I know that, when I think about exercise, I better do it instead of procrastinating, because if you plan to do it later comes and something else takes you. So you gotta make it a priority, but this is real life, right? So okay, we talked about that. We talked about the eating right and how the body's doing that. The other thing is that another key is the support, or the planning and the support. And what Ken did today, this week, is I got an article from you that talked about how eating before you go to bed is really bad for you, that it increases 27% the chance of having a heart attack. So it's very bad to eat at night. And I must admit that, I didn't eat a lot at night, but I would have some grapes or something. I just had to have something, or a hunk of cheese or something. What else was that? Oh, and then the book, you gave me this book. It's called The Rest of the Health. Learn the 7 vital strategies to optimize your well-being. And I thought that this was going to be, all about what we talk about here. But so far I read a few chapters, and it's more like a novel, and there's characters in the book and going through. So I found that interesting to start reading that. So that's the support that Ken and his wife Debbie gave this week, and we talked about the other things. So the end result is I lost some inches. But I've gained 0.6 from when I first started. But I think overall we're still losing 10 pounds. And I'm determined to do better for the next weigh-in, and we'll see what happens then. But come back next week or next shoot and see how we're doing.
Sounds good to me.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.